For some of you who understand who Ephraim is through the video series that I did entitled Ephraim and Manasseh USA UK, which I would absolutely recommend that you watch that video series on the playlist. This is a paper that I've been working on that is still being perfected, which means I'm going to add more information to it. But basically I would consider this a rough draft. I have already passed out this information in multiple forms to various people, but yet it is still not completed in its final form. When I do, I plan on making many more copies and then presenting this to anybody that can receive. It's going to be about the unicorn in a very incredible way, explaining what this symbol of some sort of mythical beast from our ancient fairy tales is really all about. Listen close. Ephraim, Israel, equals the unicorn. The following scriptures will provide a brief but concise look into major prophetic events foretold by ancient prophets to unfold in our time. Deuteronomy 33 verse 17 paired with Job chapter 39 verses 9 through 12. Who is modern day Ephraim? Well, Scottish Rite Freemasonry, English Scottish Rite Freemasonry, is the modern manifest of this lost tribe. English Freemasonry, under the current banner of Scottish Rite Masonry, founded the New World, of which is the United States. Albeit this new world was founded according to the agenda of their satanic order. Freemasonry's symbols are all biblical in nature and intent. Just one look at chapter 17 of the book of Ezekiel compared to the eagle on Freemasonry's Great Seal of the United States should suffice as evidence for such claims. Ephraim is recorded in the Bible as being of Egyptian heritage on his mother's side. Thus we see the significance of an Egyptian obelisk as his chief monument. He now leads the lost 10 tribes who fell into idolatry and abominable sacrifices. Deuteronomy chapter 33 verse 17. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns like the horns of unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth, and they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. For now, think of the United Kingdom's flag, the lion and the unicorn. The lion is the biblical symbol of Judah, which means the United Kingdom implies itself as Judah Manasseh. The unicorn is the biblical symbol of northern Israel, equaling Ephraim, which is none other than Scottish Rite English Freemasonry, which founded the USA and is the unicorn. Now compare Job 39 verses 9 through 12. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib? Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band in the furrows, or will he harrow the valleys after thee? Wilt thou trust him because his strength is great, or wilt thou leave thy labor to him? Wilt thou believe him that he will bring home thy seed and gather it into thy barn? So what is a unicorn? It's a biblical symbol storing a sort of lost or hidden understanding of connected and relative ancient knowledge that, due to ages of secrecy and concealment, has evolved into its present-day superficial outer shell image, being entirely comprised and formed by its most notable features and distinguishing elements of the symbol's original source identity. That is what a unicorn is. What is the root source scripture for the main elements of the unicorn fairy tale? Genesis chapter 6, verses 2 and 4. Verse 2, that the sons of God, the fallen, saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and took unto them wives of all which they choose. What are the main elements between the unicorn and Genesis 6? Fair equaling white, ruddy, being the daughters or the maidens. Horse, symbol for the Son of God, a type of Son of God. Horn, ancient symbol for enlightenment, being godlike, and which pertains, in this instance, to the third eye. So the horned white mystical horse of modern fairy tales, often paired with a nude young maiden, is in all reality a supercharged symbol of this ancient crossing of mankind's genetics through the daughters of man who were fair with the fallen sons of God, who are being compared in modern times, or who are being referred in modern times as the Anunnaki, their offspring being called biblically the Nephilim. Sound hard to believe? Well, the PTBs, the powers that be, are counting on you going back to sleep. Pay attention. So the white horse with the singular spiraling horn coming from his forehead means or alludes to what? The white horse equals the Anunnaki, Son of God. The horn, well, it's in the name. One horn equals one eye equals unicorn. You see, you only have one third eye, the pineal, and it is said to be about the size of a kernel of corn. Now notice the symbol that you see on the money, and what I'm going to get you guys to see is that the all-seeing eye at the top is in semblance of the unicorn, in semblance of the fallen prince, and in semblance of the third eye. This is in reference to the darkness, that dark eye that Jesus spoke about in Luke chapter 11, describing the body that if it had that darkness within it, and then the whole body would be defiled. Well, this is their dark prince, in which these two now, as Ephraim and Manasseh, USA, UK, are now trying to intimate that they are divine or godlike. But through the words of Jesus Christ and even the simple understanding of these symbols here, of which are their own, we can see that their light is darkness, in reference now to their dark prince. To understand the sheer magnitude of this symbolic unicorn, we must first see how it is absolutely another manifestation of another symbol known the world over, called the all-seeing eye. First, this symbolic eye is most often in connection with a sort of serpent wisdom called many things: the eye of Ra, Re, evil eye, serpent eye, eye of Horus, lord of the sacred eye, pertaining to Enki, the Nehesh, the serpent, the fallen prince, and finally, the third eye. Hopefully you're aware of Ephraim's heritage is from Egypt and from his mother's side. Genesis chapter 41 verses 50 through 51 and Genesis chapter 48 verse 5. He is one of the two sons born to Joseph when he rose to prominence while in Egypt originally as a slave. She is Asenath, daughter of the high priest of the temple of On, or Heliopolis, meaning the city of the sun, or city of the pillar. Notice how the above talked about names or titles for the all-seeing eye are connected directly to ancient Egypt and the United States, as well as the United States. It's common knowledge the founding fathers of this country were English and Freemasons. But what's not common knowledge is what this order is hiding from the masses behind biblical symbols and coded propaganda. In all reality, most Masons have no idea what is the real agenda of their order. But through the use of biblical symbols, biblical stories and symbols, anyone with a keen mind can easily begin to see it's about some great work being undertaken by the order through the ages to achieve what most seem to be taught is their personal transfiguration into some type of divine being through the use of ritual, magic, and secret knowledge being passed down through the ages to a select or illuminated families, who most would agree now control the world's materially